Hello, everyone. As always, at the start of the show, I'm going to be checking on the sun to make sure she's behaving. Looks like it. How lovely. Sun going down here in Colorado. I know a lot of you got my special letter in the last day and a half, 2 days. Those who are subscribed to our e-magazine anyway got my special letter. If you're not subscribed, by the way, the link is right down there below, along with link to our books, link to playlists, important videos, and to my Twitter. Twitter's super fun right now. It was interesting. I sent out that letter, and you might know that it was about much more than just the natural circumstances of what's happening at this time, the societal, political, cultural, economic, but also the spiritual. I happened to watch Nefarious earlier today. Have any of you guys seen that movie? Woo! Leave out for a moment phenomenal acting. Conceptually, topically, quite the work of art, I must say. Quite the work of art. And kind of on point in many ways with things I was saying in that letter. But anyway, as you guys can tell from the title of this video, we're talking about Earth's catastrophe cycle, the disaster cycle. For those who don't know what AMA means, it's Ask Me Anything. And I will be doing my best, as I usually do, to answer every single super chat that we get. For those who have been here before, you know how this works, or if you've ever been on a live stream on YouTube, you know it is not possible to answer every single question that pops up in the chat. The ability to do that really stops once you get a few tens of thousands of subscribers. You can pull that off if you've maybe got 50 to 100 people on a stream. We just started and we already have over 500 here now. But I do promise I will try to answer every single super chat that we get. So, Earth disaster cycle. I know most of it will be from the new viewers, but go ahead. Ask me anything. Whether it's the solar kill shot that takes out civilization before that. We have to live basically as the Stone Age did until the solar micronova and the magnetic pole flip. The solar micronova, which will unlock the crust, allowing the overbearing ice weight at the polar region, which wants to spin at the point of greatest centrifugal force, the equator, to actually do so and turn the world over. Radiation, aftermath. Yeah. Whatever you guys got. I see we have the first teal pair in there. Did the teal pair just do a mic drop? All right, that's like extra points right there. Novax asks, Denver sucks. Yes, it does. I live at north coast of New South Wales, Australia, the East Coast. My question is, what would be the best place to look for a local observer ranch? Well, there is only one observer ranch, and that's here in Colorado. If you're looking for the best way to meet other local observers and other things like that, it would be the solarkillshot.org network. There's already at least one Australia network that is already popping up in there. And it's relatively active as well. I think they've got a meetup coming. If you're talking about a place that could be your own observer ranch, look for what we've told you to look for. Get away from the ocean. Get high elevation. And if you can be at high elevation but also have a way to hide underground, all the better. So no matter what that question was actually asking, I hope that I've answered it at least a little bit. Dr. Hasachub, thank you. You rock, my friend. Troy Dan 22 says, hi, Ben. Can you go into bunker design, please? Materials. How deep underground? Would 1 meter deep? I don't know if that means, it says 1 m deep. I don't know if that means 1 meter or 1 mile. I hope you don't mean 1 mile. Would that be enough? And should we have it as a storm shelter where we go for a few hours? Will we need to live underground from the kill shot to pole flip, please? No. So I'm going to go backwards in your question. No, this is not something that is like you're going to have to live for months and months and months underground. It is a storm shelter type of a thing. The less metal you can use, the better. My two favorite things to think about are hempcrete and aircrete. They're super strong. They're not very conductive. They don't burn, and they work very, very well. If you are building something big enough that needs rebar, there is non-conductive fiberglass rebar. I hear it's a little more expensive and not quite as easy to get one's hands on it, but there's that. The 1 meter deep should be plenty. Again, this is the kind of thing where you are literally just using this to get out of the inclement conditions. Severe hail, severe wind, severe changes in temperature. That's what this thing is really for. And while those things don't sound as scary as the micronova or the great tsunamis or anything else, provided you're not in an area that's going to get hit by the great tsunamis, the hail and the wind and the temperature changes are going to be that bad. So something like that would be extremely helpful, to say the least. And yes, 1 meter deep would be plenty to protect you from that. Token Light, thank you, my friend. Good to see you. Gabe says, what do you think of the town where the ranch is at now that you are there for a while? Well, first of all, I don't live at the ranch. I live in Colorado Springs. All 3 of my children go to school, and for the time being, it is a commuter situation. I'd like to think I'm going to have quite a bit of time in terms of notice, and it's 45 minutes away. I like the little town we're in right now. I'm starting to get to know all my neighbors. They're really good people. We got a quarry nearby. We have a shooting range nearby. They're the right kind of people. Everybody else is either observers, preppers, or horse and cattle farmers, aka preppers by accident. And so I really love where we are. It's absolutely fantastic. Really do like it. Chris says, could the crust slip faster than just the course of a day, or is there a limit to the speed of crust movement? Would waves and slosh back be bigger? I have to imagine it's going to be about a day. That's what a lot of the old stories say. There's not really a whole lot of math on how long that would be, but I like the idea of it being about a day. It's interesting. The initial inertial wave of the land moving will invade the continents to a greater degree in terms of distance they travel inland. The sloshback will be far more damaging and hit harder at the coastline. One is a slow inundation and it manages to go and go and go. The sloshback is kind of like one giant wave. But it obviously wouldn't make it as far inland as the initial inertial wave. Hopefully that answers your question there. So like India's taking the slosh back. That's going to be brutal. Absolutely brutal. Red Ted, good to see you. Thank you, my friend. Grateful Preps, what's up? And good evening to you over there on the Jersey Shore. Hopefully, all is well on the other side of the country. Although I would have absolutely no idea if it was or wasn't. Yeah, Philippines gets both. The northern Philippines takes the initial inertial wave. The southern part of the Philippines gets the slosh back. Somebody once asked me, what's the safe zone on the Philippines? And my answer was somewhere else. Does that mean nobody's going to survive on the Philippines? No, I can't say that definitively. But if you have the ability to be wherever you want, if you have the resources and the time, I mean, if you love living in the Philippines, live there as long as you can, but be able to get somewhere else if you're able. Yeah. There's a loud vehicle outside. Not sure you guys could hear that, but I sure did. Man. King 2, that's one of the most ridiculous and stupid things I've ever read in my entire life, and there is no evidence to suggest that is the case. Zero. Laura says, what happens to the Hawaiian Islands? I don't have a whole lot of good news for the Hawaiian Islands. Not only do I expect 90% of the volcanoes in the world to erupt, even the ones they say are dormant and even extinct, but there's going to be mega waves in the Pacific too. It doesn't look great for the Hawaiian Islands, to be honest with you. Just don't see that being too fantastic. I see somebody mentioning Mongolia. If you live on that side of the planet, yeah, Mongolia is not bad, but it's not better than where I am now. It's why I moved here. It's one of the best places in the world. The elites, I call them that generously, the parasites running the planet who know everything coming, moved here for a reason. Yes, we're in the belly of the beast here in the United States. But when you know what they know, you realize we'll fight that fight another day. We got to make it through the event first. Anita, I'm a lot further away from Cheyenne Mountain than you think. And Cheyenne Mountain doesn't scare me at all. Yeah, Laura. I hate to say it, but I just don't have any good news for Hawaii. I don't have any good news for Florida. I don't have any good news for the UK. Anybody in the UK who's getting ready to ask the question, I'm just going to stop you right there. Save you a couple bucks. I have no good news for the UK either. Somebody's asking if Minnesota will be good. Can you survive 10 years of Minnesota winters with no electricity? If the answer is yeah, no problem. I'm 100% on that. Okay, enjoy Minnesota. Wow, you should. Oh, King. I see you don't know my background at all. You should stop talking before I make you look dumb. Do you doubt that I can do that? We've been here for almost 15 minutes, not even 15 minutes, and somebody's already going to make me get salty. I'm seeing it a lot in the comments. When's this going to happen? When? So first of all, the solar kill shot that takes out power and sends us back to the Stone Age. Nobody knows. That's the one part of this that is a major guessing game. In terms of the micronova and the magnetic pole flip, 2040s. Sometime in that decade, the 2040s. You would know that if you had watched the disaster video, by the way. It's right down there in the links in the description box below the video. And I'm not going to hold everyone to this harsh rule, but I will say this. If you haven't watched either the disaster playlist or the Earth disaster videos or the solar micronova video, which is linked every single day down there in the description box, even in the morning news, every day it's down there. If you have not done that homework, maybe think twice about asking questions here. But anyway. All right. Ready for more questions. Jen, thank you for the teal pair. Love it. Absolutely love the teal pairs. Salinity reducing. Uber Archangel, cool name. When the mountains supposedly move as the Bible has pointed out, do you think it is like GPS move or literally getting pushed by mantle shift, stopping, pushing it like a blanket as the magma resolidifies? Good question. And I don't actually think that there's an answer that you could blanket put over the entire world. I think it'll probably look a little different everywhere. A lot of that is a roll of the dice. There are some things you can't prepare for. If your part of the world plunges down and the ocean runs in, what are you going to do? If a brand new volcano pops up right under your feet, what are you going to do? If a piece of the micronova shell lands right on top of your head, what are you going to do? The point is, you can greatly reduce the risks that are known and that should be relatively generally applicable across the world, which is don't be by the oceans, be at high elevation, and try to have somewhere underground to hide. And yes, everybody who's talking about me, who's going to be talking about me sniffling, it's allergy season. I don't know what to say. I have fall allergies. Single cell organism 13. Why not prefer the biblical version of this? Our Creator's intention for man, Earth being restored rather than a 100,000 plus year, 12,000 year cycle. Well, I don't know what the end of that means, but it is a 12,000 year cycle. There's a lot of evidence of that and the half cycle in not only the Bible, but several other religious or historical accounts. And man and earth will be restored in every single one of these accounts. And the best one have got to be, the ones from India, where they talk about pretty much every time after this happens, and it is terrible, there is a golden age that follows almost immediately. Which I have probably said about 100 times on these shows. And yeah, so there's that. Anyway. All right, making sure I didn't miss anything. Will Colorado be closer to the equator? Brazil at the South Pole, right? Yes, Brazil will be at the South Pole. Colorado will be approximately the same distance to the equator, but in the southern hemisphere. The climate of, say, Canada and Mexico will flip-flop, because then Mexico will be at higher latitude and the equator will actually run through parts of Canada, or Canada will be very, very close to it anyway. Should run through parts of Canada. But Colorado happens to be going just to about the exact same spot in the southern hemisphere. What are my thoughts on western Oklahoma, the Panhandle? You want a front row seat for this thing, huh? You want to take your chances that you're going to be safe, but want to make sure you're close enough to the disaster zone that you could actually see it. There's a chance Oklahoma, the entirety of Oklahoma, will get hit when the Gulf of Mexico rushes inland. Very good chance. Could the far western part of it be okay? Maybe. 25, 30% chance. I'm guessing if you're talking western Oklahoma, the Panhandle, you're probably in a relatively low population area, so that's a good one. You don't want to be in a high population area, that's for sure. But other than that, it's a maybe. Hey, Joe, what's going on? He says, we just had a few network outages the last 24 to 48 hours, including cell and emergency number connections. Can you say CME? They can't yet. I can tell you, I haven't had any network outages. There haven't been any problems where I am. Those things do happen. We have pretty much been in geomagnetic storm conditions for the last day or so. It's possible that they could be related. There's certainly nothing that would allow me to give a definitive yes or no on that one. But I guess in theory, that's the kind of thing you would expect. I did miss some. I missed a few. All right, I'm going to have to do this a little more quickly. Mindy says, will the Ozarks be a good place to be? No. Thinking of buying a piece of land there seems like a good spot. It's a very, 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 very bad spot. 3 reasons. 1, the New Madrid Fault is going to go, and it's going to shake the shit out of that place. 2, it is not high enough to escape the waves, and it is directly in the wave path. 3, think about how many people have said to themselves, oh, I heard someone on the internet say the Ozarks. I'm going to go to the Ozarks. You might as well be sitting in the middle of New York City. I give the Ozarks 2 thumbs down. I just read the Cyclical Deluge book from the late 1800s by Walker. Whew. What is your take on that prediction? It's okay. Some of the predictions were based on things that were guesses. I don't think if Walker was alive today, he would make the exact same predictions given the same evidence. I do love that book. Sometimes it's racism. It's blatant racism, makes it a little cringy to read, but it's a great book, and it was on the same general wavelength about what's going to happen. But I do think that, Walker just did the best he could with what he had to work with. He didn't have all the tools in the toolbox that we have today. Put it that way. Liz Sapp, hello, sweetie. Hey, Ben, silly question. Does the micronova cause more water to emerge from the crust each time there's a micronova, like Waterworld? I'm asking due to deep sea canyons underwater. Maybe. I have to imagine that with some of the crustal splitting, we lose a bunch of water as well. And maybe the deep sea canyons weren't always so low. Maybe they were up higher and then they fell down. I will say that water and gases will emerge from the crust. Is the micronova probably going to strip away some of the atmosphere? Yes. Will it deliver things to the atmosphere? Yes. But what people need to remember is there is 3 times the amount of water that's in all the oceans. 3 times that amount is locked in the ground. And there is as much gas as there is in our entire atmosphere locked in the ground, if not more. It's a simple pressure equilibrium. That's why this can happen over and over and over again every 12,000 years. And here we are. The Earth is still the Earth. I would have to say that the waters below will come forth. Some of the waters that are already up here will probably be swallowed back down as well, though. Good question, and great to see you, Liz. S.J. Compton, Oprah Winfrey recently bought 890 acres for only $6.6 million on Maui at 4,200 feet of elevation on a mountain that goes up to 9,000 feet, thinking she might be trying to bug out here like the others, Bezos and Musk types. So first of all, ain't nobody telling Oprah the correct information. Most elites who are getting information are getting bad information. 2, Maui is not the place to be. That's not going to be a good idea. That is also not where Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos plan their bug out locations. Jeff Bezos' bug out location is in the Sierra Diablo Mountains on the border of New Mexico and Texas. He is hollowing out a mountain literally across the street from his Blue Origin launch facility. He can go down, he can go up. Elon Musk is going to have several different locations he could go here in the United States. Doesn't stop them from buying vacation property. And is that the sun beating in on me like crazy there? Can I move and stop that? I can. They might have vacation locations there, but that's nobody in the knows disaster plan, that's for sure. Sure I didn't miss anything here. I don't think I did. Good. Watery Waves. Hello. Good to see you, my friend. Oh, is that sun just going to follow me? It's going to follow me around the room. Oh, while we have a quick break from Super Chats, Denver sucks in the chat. So says the solar illuminated finger. Denver sucks. May God save them and their blue hair. That's a lot of Denver sucks in the chat. Is Denver better than Chicago, really, though? Toasty, cheesy? Yeah, Chicago might have more crime and poverty, but it's not as evil and satanic. Will the ranch have any boats, just in case? So first of all, normally my my modus operandi is to not share too much about the ranch because a lot of that is kind of private. But yeah, we don't. I'm like, there's virtually no chance the waves get to the ranch, but we're gonna have things to float away on just in case. I don't think we're gonna need them, but yeah. It's a good comment. If I need a boat in Colorado, everywhere is toast. Everywhere is toast. Ben never mentions the following ice age. It's very important. Oh, you mean like I've done in every single one of the videos about the homework I told you guys to watch? In the interview I did with Randall Carlson, specifically about the cold that comes after this event, or the video I did about why a micronova brings cold and a super flare brings heat? No, I never mention any of that. Or any of the videos where I've gone over how long it lasts, how bad it will be, to what latitude it's going to be. No, I never mentioned that at all. Says the guy who's running his mouth without doing the homework. That hurt your feelings, mate. You taking a piss in my comment section. Hi, Ben. Thoughts on Australia, particularly Southeast Australia, please. It's taking the slosh back. I know there's several populated areas there. I know that if we're talking about the southeast quadrant of Australia, there's probably a couple places in there that are okay. Climate's going to be a little different after the fact. Don't want to be in a low-lying area. Don't want to be in a populated area. There are worse places to be in the world, put it that way. There are definitely worse places to be. I wonder if I hurt his feelings. The better question is, does Ben care? Jamie, thank you for the teal pair. Much appreciated. One day I'm going to figure out why I like those teal pairs so much. One day I will figure it out. You're just rude to newcomers. Oh, you mean moments after I said, if you haven't done your homework, be careful running your mouth? If your attitude is, Screw that guy. I'm going to disrespect his time. I'm going to disrespect the time of everybody who's done their homework, and I'm going to type anyway. Yeah, expect me to slap the shit out of you. You're just rude to newcomers. Send me your address. I'll send the Vagisil as soon as possible. Is there a way to monitor the Beaufort gyre release when it releases? Is it a sign of the coming solar micronova? No, not necessarily. And no, there's not a great way to monitor it. Just the seasonal change in the temperature of the release straight through where that water would come is enough to say, oh, well, if you look here and then you look a couple weeks later and it's much colder, is that seasonal? It's really hard to say. I would say it's a maybe on whether or not we can monitor the Beaufort gyre release, but I would say that's completely unrelated to the solar micronova. Elizabeth, thank you for the teal pear. Hello. Thank you. Everybody see what Elizabeth's teal pear is doing? Right back at you. It's not a serious question, but I'm going to mention it because it's funny. Somebody wrote, will the frogs be gay after the micronova? You know what? We're going to go with yes. We're going to go with yes. KKB, I already answered. I don't have any good news for the UK. None. Zero. I'm glad some of you guys thought my Vagisil joke was funny. You know who probably didn't think it was funny? The guy who was complaining. Alice Young, I'm going to address your question. I'm new here. What's Ben's background, even though you wrote Bend? You wrote, what's Bend background? But you're asking, what is Ben's background? One, I have peer-reviewed papers on solar physics and geophysics. I'm credited with discovering how the sun triggers the largest earthquakes in the world. It has been cited a number of times by other professors and NASA scientists. My co-authors on that one are a NASA engineer and a statistics professor who ran the math. I also have a solar physics textbook that is used in several universities. But you know what? None of that should matter. An appeal to authority is the sign of a weak mind. What if I was just some independent researcher who didn't have any credentials, who didn't have any published papers, who hadn't written any books? Does that change the facts that I show? Does it change the dots you can connect in the peer-reviewed papers? Yeah, I've got some of the props to back it up, but you shouldn't need that. Appeals to authority? No, thank you. Trust me, I know plenty of authorities. They don't know a damn thing. All right, what am I missing here? I know I missed something. Oh, there they are. There they are. SJ Compton says, been 100% carnivore and insane results. Yup. Wondering where you get your good ribeyes and meats from and how you eat them. I go for basically medium rare. We have great local farmers here. It's where I get my meat. We get farm fresh eggs every week. We get raw, unpasteurized A2 milk. Whew! It's like drinking life. Get to know your local farmers. They are your friends. And they could use the help. David says, Ben, love your work. Relatively new by here. What do you think the solar kill shot or micronova do to folks with pacemakers? There's a chance it doesn't end well. There's a chance that doesn't end well. I will just remind everybody that, yes, just like the Earth has a magnetic field that it protects it, The human body has an energy field too. Let me grab this. Human body has an energy field. It takes several forms and shapes. There's a grand one that's created by the system of chakras, and every chakra in your body creates its own little field, and you can strengthen them. Eliminate alcohol, drugs, and crap food. Increase good diet food. Carnivore is not a bad way to go. Vegetables and fruit probably helping you as well. Exercise, a good physical body is very helpful. And make sure this is screwed on straight. Think positively. Heal your traumas. Get rid of the insecurities. All these things are ways to boost your own body's energy field, your own protection. What is your altitude at the ranch? 0. Because altitude is how high up off the ground are you. But since you probably meant elevation, 1 mile. 1 mile from sea level. In fact, the exact 1 mile in elevation mark runs through the ranch, which is kind of what I was aiming for. Ben, can you do that everyone voice again? You did the Eeyore voice I did. If I have a reason to do the Eeyore voice, yeah, I'll do it again. We'll see. I need to have a good reason to do the Eeyore voice. D. Miller says, most authorities I know lie. Authorities are bad. Yeah. A lot of times that's the case. Is A2 milk raw milk? Not all of it, no. I'm willing to bet you can go to your store right now and buy pasteurized A2 milk. Still not bad. What a lot of people have trouble processing is the A1 casein protein, in addition to the lactose. But the biotics that you get when it's unpasteurized digest it for you. And if it's A2 milk, it doesn't have the A1 casein protein, which is the other thing in milk that gives some people problems. Big fan. Big fan. Scrolling. MA, that's very funny. I do too. I don't know why goat milk has to smell so bad. But that one's not bad. That one's A2 as well. It doesn't have the A1 casein protein. Grant, no weed. Once you get to a certain point of physical fitness, a good diet, and once you have healed the shit that's wrong with you up here, you don't even want weed anymore. It happened to me. It happened to everybody else I know who has taken this process seriously. You just don't even want it anymore. You don't need it. I'm not trying to condemn anyone who's doing their thing and whatever. I'm just saying a lot of people who do it and do it regularly enough that they would write something about it publicly, literally could not stop. They tell themselves they don't stop because they don't want to stop, but they literally couldn't. They wouldn't be able to sleep. They would get anxiety. They wouldn't be able to focus. They wouldn't be able to do this, that. What I'm telling you is if you fix all the underlying stuff, you feel better than you feel after smoking weed all day long. Moving on to more super chats. Hi, Scott. Hey, Sir Ben. I have not been knighted, but I'll take it. Just read Revelation 8, 7-12. It explains exactly what a supernova or massive solar CME can produce. Just FYI for us holy rollers, I have read that book quite a bit. Poured the fourth vial out under the sun, and the power was given to it to scorch men with fire. Yeah. Cow's milk doesn't come with a digestive enzyme needed for humans to digest it. Goat's milk does. Raw goat's milk all the way. Huh. Are you talking about the A1 casein protein, or are you saying that applies to A2 as well? I'd be interested to know that, D. You don't have to do another super chat. You can just email me. But if you just type it in that section, I'm probably not going to see it. And I want to know the answer. Roland, do collab with Professor Dave Explains. The did you just say to me? I hope that was a joke. In addition to him being a clown and bad at what he does, he's not even a professor. Like, he's not actually a professor. Anybody see Dr. Robitaille shred him after he tried to take on one of the world's best radiologists? Whew, I enjoyed that thoroughly. Professor Dave, durr. He deserves the Eeyore voice. How are you wearing long sleeves as hot as it is? Because I got ice in my veins. Female. Somebody said good AC system. I don't have air conditioning. Prepping all the time, yo. Natalie, thank you. Very good to see you. And you are much appreciated. Oh, did I miss a super chat somewhere? Oh, nope. Got it. Never mind. Chat. And you believe Chat GPT, Watery Waves? You believe Chat GPT? Or you're just letting me know that it doesn't know what it's doing? People keep writing supernova. It's micronova. If it was a supernova, everything would be gone. Everyone's dead. Somebody just asked, do I think it's going to happen the next 24 months? It was maybe 6 minutes ago I said 2040s. This is my life. I asked for this. I asked for this. I asked for this. Okay. I asked for this. How safe is central West Virginia at approximately 1,500? The Atlantic will attack. Attack. When the world tilted, don't forget, the tilt goes opposite ways each time. So the waves go opposite ways each time. When the Pacific attacked, it broke through the Rockies. You think the Appalachians are going to stop the Atlantic? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. You have a cool name, though. West Virginia Prepper Chicks. You sound like the kind of girls I'd want to hang out with. Platonically. Still, you sound cool. Is it possible the crust could unlock differentially, making the travel time slower and thus less wind and tsunami disruption, but maybe worse earthquake from the rubbing of the zones? So first of all, the wind is not from the crust unlocking. We know in the past, we know how bad the tsunamis were in the past, and there's no reason to think the tsunamis wouldn't be just as bad this time. I don't know how you can get much worse in terms of earthquakes than what's described in all these ancient stories, because it pretty much describes the worst thing imaginable. Um, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Hi, Ben. Good to see you again. Amazing shows as always. Thank you. No, thank you, Diego. Good to see you. That applies to the A2 as well. You missed my super. Did I? I didn't think I missed any super chats. Maybe I did. Like I said, I'm trying to get every single super chat. I usually do end up missing one or two every show, even though that's what I'm focused on. It's hard. It's not easy. Seashells have been found in 500 miles from the West Coast. I believe that. Hello to everyone who just joined. Good to see you. Green Star, good to see you. Appreciate that. And I'll remind you guys, there's no way for me to answer all the questions that come in that aren't super chats. I'm not even going to try. Okay? It's no disrespect. It's simply a matter of logistics and what is actually possible. Paul says, when the tilt happens, will sea levels drop around islands like Hawaii and New Zealand? Will the drop in the New Madrid trap enough to permanently lower mean tidal levels around those islands? No. 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 Hawaii and New Zealand scare the bejesus out of me. There is no amount of money. I would not move to Hawaii or New Zealand for $1 billion. You know how much money $1 billion is? I wouldn't move there for $1 billion. How long does the temp pole shift last? I tried finding this in your videos but couldn't find. How long does the temp pole shift last? You mean when the earth shifts, how long does it stay like that? For 12,000 years. And then it shifts back 12,000 years later. Hopefully that answers your question. Ben, you're waking the sheep. Some of them anyway. So grateful. Deep breaths. They're learning. Deep breaths. No salinity. I asked for this. You're right. You're right. You're correct. All of these things are true. Can I post a link I'd like you to see later? You can try. I'm not going to see it. There's zero chance I'm going to see it. Hello again, Green Star. Appreciate you. It's hard to have patience for ignorant sheeple, isn't it? It's very hard. Sometimes I don't. I have the window cracked and somebody's cooking burgers out there. The smell's been coming in the last few minutes. Tried to ignore it. Got to say something. I'm trying to focus on this, trying to answer questions, and I've just got like burger smell. Oh, it smells so good. 24,000 years for solar system to orbit the galaxy? No, 250 million years for us to orbit the galaxy. Our orbiting the galaxy has nothing to do with this 12,000 year cycle at all. Thank you for the great work. You're very welcome, MA. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. got a little break in super chat. So I'd like to ask you guys, have I ever told you that Denver sucks? Have I mentioned this? Blinkety blink, blink, blink. Lisa says, does a log cabin stand a better chance of withstanding the micronova? And I presume a metal roof is a bad idea. Metal roof's not the greatest idea. A log cabin in the right spot has a shot, certainly has a shot. Virtually any well-made structure, if you don't get unlucky, if you're in a good location, has a shot. There's no doubt about it. Martin, you're not wrong. Colorado Springs isn't much better. Well, actually, it is a lot better than Denver. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better than Denver. I didn't miss anything here, did I? Okay. Oh. I just got to scroll up and see what that said. Where was that question? What happened? I can't find it. Oh, well. Okay. Back to Super Chats. Ben's break is over. Ewok, this is my life. I asked for this. Yes, I did. I asked for this. This is my life. You should see my inbox. My email inbox. Good Lord. Are there micronovas that do not hit the Earth? Yeah, on other stars. Vanessa, hi Ben, stoked to finally catch a live show. We're stoked to have you here, Vanessa. What are your thoughts on the San Luis Valley, including Crestone, Blanca, and Salida? Not terrible. Not terrible. I will say this. Some of the areas there, not all, but I mean, you sort of mentioned a pretty big area. There are some areas there where resources might be a bit scant, and some of the most dangerous people live there, and they don't like making friends. And put it this way, it's better to be there in Florida or Hawaii. Man, Dane Delaney says, your opinion on Law of One, channeled messages from Ra, if you've read the transcripts. I haven't. I will say this, though. I believe some people can channel things. I believe 99% of the people claiming to do it are full of shit. Not saying it's not a real thing. I'm saying that enough people know it's a real thing that people bullshit. Planet 9, have you ever seen the documentary Is Genesis History? No, I have not. They did a great job showing a flood could massively change a landscape. Well, I haven't seen it, but I certainly agree with the second part of that. Jerusalem is 750 meters high. Can it survive? Yes, because it's one of the axis points of the turn. The Egypt to Israel area, it's one of the, like, if the earth is tilting like this, the parts right on the side aren't moving one way or another. They are just turning like this. Unfortunately, that's the part of the world that's probably going to take the micronova flash. Not only can we say that based on the areas that get burned and the pattern that they form across the world, but most of the religious texts say that it will not be a flood that hits that part of the world this time. It will be fire from the micronova. So can it survive? All depends on your definition of survival. Kurt says, thanks. Yes. So how long will it take for ocean floods to subside? About a week. Where land shows back up. About a week. By the way, want to send you a song for children you'll appreciate. I don't know how you send someone a song, but if you can figure out how to do that, I will listen to it and see if I think it would be good to send my children. Happy to do so. I don't know if that's Natrons or Natrons Barrow. He says, Denver sucks. I live the suck every day, and it's dreadful. My condolences. Also, perhaps lobster will be on the menu along the Front Range after the shift. Certainly plausible. Especially if the center of the country sinks like it probably think it's going to. Paul says, I'm with you on that. I have zero plans to move there. Just curious why mega yachts are mooring off to New Zealand, and according to conspiracists, why elite are trying to grab Paradise Islands. Thank you. Like I said, the vast majority aren't the actual elites, and they're not getting good information. They're being sold things. That's all. Put it this way. If you think people like Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab is the top of the pyramid, we know their names. That's not the top of the pyramid. You're talking about the highest table. The only name I know of that I think would be on that list would be Queen Beatrix. Pretty sure she's up there. But all these other mouthpieces, the ones that are taking the brunt of the hate of those with the eyes to see, they're puppets. You're talking about celebrities? No, they don't know anything. They don't know anything. Unfortunately for them. Joshua says, advanced aliens and the Earth facing quiet effect and their ability to influence the sun. Discussed. Not advanced aliens doing that. That's not advanced aliens doing that. Do I think that aliens are real? Yes. Do I think that they have been here? Yes. Do I think that they are here now? Yes. Do I think that they will show up in the aftermath, sometimes in helpful ways? Yes. Do I believe they are controlling any of these things? Absolutely not. Do I believe a single word from the UFO congressional hearings things? Absolutely not. Complete nonsense. These aliens are aliens, and they came from a distant star system, but we shot them down with our military. And stupid do you think we are? Anyway, good Lord. All right, I have some catching up to do. Rebecca, hey, what's going on, girl? Holler for them to save a burger for you. Nah, I ate already, but appreciate it. Cooked grass-fed ribeye and pasture-raised eggs with sauteed onions and peppers and mushrooms for Sunday brunch. Sounds awesome, Rebecca. Should have saved me some of that. Lisa says, one more question. Will wood-burning cast iron stoves melt or warp in the micronova? It's possible. It's possible. I just don't know for sure. I'd like to think a cast iron stove is thick enough that it has a good chance to simply conduct the current through it without melting. When you're talking about the micronova, all bets are off, really. There's no way of knowing how strong that's going to be. Gabriel says, thoughts on land rising and sinking during and after the events. Any geologists you recommend on this subject? Comments on Randall Carlson. Land will rise, land will sink. There's no way to know which land is going to rise and which land is going to sink. I do not recommend any official geologist on the planet. Zero. As for Randall Carlson, during my interview with him and during a few videos, he was starting to move towards the sun. He was starting to move in that direction. And then Graham Hancock got back in his ear and yanked him back to the impactor theory. Like a dumbass. I haven't talked to Randall in quite a while, mostly because I don't have 2 hours to sit on the phone listening, which is what happens when I call him. He always picks up, but it's a marathon. If he and Graham Hancock would start focusing on the sun and stuff like that, rather than this comet impactor theory nonsense, they would be much more useful. Right now, they're just very good at selling things. Good evening. What says Forerunner? What's up, buddy? What changes do you expect to see in the tectonic plates, either as a whole or specific regions? What will the new world look like? Your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is absolutely as good as mine. Do I think the center of the United States will sink? Yes. Do I think the Gulf of Mexico will rise? Yes. Do I think that parts of land around Antarctica will rise? Yes. Do I think that portions around the subcontinent of India will sink a little bit? Yes. Other than that, it's really hard to say. Do I think that something big is going to happen with the African rift? Surely. But specifics, I wish I had a crystal ball. Wish I knew. Maggie Smith, thank you for the teal pair. Makes me smile. Natalie again, hello. Hi, Ben. I recall learning about the parallel north and south magnetism and cooled lava at the mid-ocean ridge. How does that work with the crust unlocking? That is not the same thing. That has absolutely nothing to do with the 12,000-year cycle. Those are the 700,000-year Cron magnetic reversals. That's a very different thing. That's what's recorded in the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. That is not what we're talking about in terms of the geomagnetic excursions that happen every 12,000 years. Excellent question, though. Just dropped in through live. What about North Texas? Don't let your chances, mate. The Gulf of Mexico is going to surge northward. It's probably going to pour into the Great Lakes. It's going to make it all the way there, probably up into Canada. Not looking so good for North Texas. Laura, thank you for the teal pair. Appreciate that. West Virginia Prepper Chicks again. Hello. Burgers, yes, our whole family, 8 of us, are 100% carnivore. Ding, ding, I knew I'd like you. Beef, salt, and water only for the last 5 years. Oh, that's killer. That's the lion diet. Oh. So at least we'll be healthy when we die in West Virginia in the 2040s. That's a very good way of looking at it. Splendid. Still behind. Still behind. Still behind. Got to catch up. Primordial Platypus. How's that for a username? Possible barn shield from induced magnetic shock. Stock with electric machine, wood shop, wires, pipes, solar generator, battery, and use them after the worst is over. That ain't going to work. That ain't going to work. I have lived this topic for a decade. Done more research on this than you could possibly imagine. I am preparing for a world without electricity, completely pre-industrial. I am preparing to potentially have steam or wind-driven mechanical power, no electrical power. And I don't know what a barn shield is, but no, a barn's not going to shield anything. Smug Kitten says, I am sure I will sound like a loon, but when I lived in Denver, I used to have recurring dreams of a giant wave cresting the mountains. Since moving to Minnesota, that dream has stopped. Much love for all you do. Well, that happened in the last one when the Earth tilted the other way and the Pacific attacked. It definitely broke through the Rockies. That's not the way things are happening this time. Just checking my phone. By the way, hello, Smug Kitten. Good to see you. Jamie Davis says, referencing back to your comment about channeling, I highly recommend reading a book by Jane Roberts, Seth Speaks. Anybody who's into that? Seth Speaks by Jane Roberts. Oh my God, I missed a bunch. Ready? I asked for this. Thanks, Ben. What do you think of the Spruce Knob area of West Virginia? No. Also, I'm with you on the ESP sensitivities. The real deal are those who society discards. I don't think anywhere in West Virginia is a good bet. I can't tell you one way or another that anywhere in the Appalachians is safe. Certainly not West Virginia. If you missed that earlier in the show, Marino, I apologize, but I was talking about that earlier. Green Star says, solar ejecta impactor. What does it look like? Its characteristics. How big a chunk? Like a meteorite? Yeah. I mean, it's cooled in congealed plasma. It's certainly going to be meteoritic, might be more blobby, certainly would have electrical discharges as it came through the atmosphere, and probably right before it hit the ground. Other than that, yeah, it'll look like a meteorite. Mandane Delaney again. Remember, time doesn't exist. It's cyclical. We are repeating history over and over again. Remember who you truly are, a soul having an experience. True. Our soul is also here at this time to try to make it through this. It shouldn't be feared. Yes, your bigger picture awareness is worth thinking about. But I've also heard that kind of thinking used to be like, guys, just don't worry about it. Live your life. I'm swimming through the air as I say meaningful hippie things. This is the Cosmic Super Bowl, and you're here for a reason. The helmet on, sack up. I'm not saying you were saying that. I'm just saying I've heard that kind of talk used to justify it. Eric Northman, greetings from Fort Collins. Hello, Fort Collins. And hello, Eric. Got a lightning strike on the light pole at our home. Bricks pieces half a block away. Woof. Magnetar is scary. Internet via phone sucks. I bet, Susie. Glad you're okay, though. Sheepdog, what are your thoughts on surgical metal implants in the body? I have 50 screws and 14 plates currently, hoping I don't spontaneously combust or melt. Again, that's not optimal. But again, enhance your body energy field. That is going to be my answer to everything related to, I have metal in my body. I have a titanium screw. I have a pacemaker. They had to replace my brain with titanium goo because I'm a moron. Anything like that. Enhance your body field. Stop drinking. Stop doing drugs. Stop eating crap. Eat properly. Physically exercise and heal your mind and try to be positive. It's the only way to enhance your body energy field. Hello again, Primordial Platypus. Build a barn bunker shielded from induced magnetic field and store vulnerable items inside is what I... How are you going to build a barn that is shielded from the induced magnetic field? What's your plan? Are you going to encase the entire barn in plastic or rubber? What's the plan there? I don't know how to do something like that. That's a big shielding you want to make. I would rather build a bunker out of stuff that's not conductive and then put anything you might want to try to save in plastic storage containers. Now, granted, it's only going to work until the batteries run out. Still, you're not going to shield a whole barn. Definitely not. I asked for this. Wade, hello, my friend. Good to see you. I've really been doing this for an hour? Costa says, come to Jesus Christ. Is he with you? Where are you at? Oh. All right, guys. Well, this has been a fun last 69 minutes, Elon's favorite number. We do have some good things coming in tomorrow morning's show. I don't know if you will follow me on Twitter, but you might have an idea what one of those stories is. Everyone should be following me on Twitter. Oh, now you guys are pummeling me with more super chats. Okay, here we go. We'll try. Have you seen that 73,000 people are stranded at Burning Man? Good. That place is a degenerate whack job hole. Is there anything significant happening this weekend astronomically? Yeah, a bunch of people being evil at Burning Man. They're getting what they deserve. My fantasy, Micronova takes place in 2 parts away from Earth. Is this possible? No, it is an all-shell release in every direction. Oh, and you'll email me the song. Okay, that could work. 1 second. Susie, I see that teal pair. Appreciate the teal pair. Oh, I'm getting more text messages. All right, guys. I will see you in the morning for the daily show. If you follow me on Twitter, may have seen a little preview of the morning news on there a couple hours ago. Why the criticism of Burning Man? Commercial. I'll see you guys in the morning. Muddy Creek Critters, thank you very much. Martin, thank you very much as well. Cutting it off there. I will see you guys in the morning for the daily show. Be safe, everyone.